guys, welcome back to the wine channel VVB. I'm your host Kevin Ho. I'm still here in Ukraine, in Kiev. It's getting a bit cold out there, so I need to be quick a little bit. In the first part of the program, we have tasted this wine, Chateau Chersegi, and then I haven't yet given it a score. I would say, usually on this program, if we give a wine an A, it means that it's a wine that I would happily buy a case of, and if it's a B, it's a wine that will buy a bottle or two. It's nice wine. If I get a C, it's a usual daily wine that I probably wouldn't buy a bottle of. I would give this wine normally I would give this wine a B score, because it's a wine that's nice enough for me to buy a bottle or two. But it's not a wine that's ageable, so I wouldn't get a case of it, and it wouldn't age. In 1 year or two, I think it's gone. But then if you take into account its price point, $3, $4. I mean, what more can you say? I mean, what can you ask for? I think it's an amazing value. You can buy a case of it, and if you've got some friends coming over, you just serve it. I mean, it's a nice wine. As an aperitif, it's great. So I give it an A score if I take into account its price. So part 2 of the program, we finally got a red wine, but this red wine is not from Ukraine. I've tasted quite a lot of wines from Ukraine. So far, I would say I tried 1 or 2 good reds, but still not a convincing one. But hey, the other day I was walking around central Kiev, and then I dropped into this department store called Soon, which is presumably the best department store in town, the most expensive one, I guess. On the 5th floor, there's a very fancy food court with an oyster bar, with a seafood restaurant, with some pasta and wine restaurant, and with a very nice butcher where you can buy your piece of meat and then ask them to cook it for you. Very nice place. And then they have a wine store, which I'm thinking could be the most high-end wine store in Kiev. I mean, in there I've even seen a bottle of Opus 1 and some Chateau Latour, Chateau Lafite. Even though Ukraine is not a very rich country, I mean, people are making maybe $500 US per month on average, but there are some rich people out there. Driving on the highway, I've seen these Bentleys, Ferraris flying past me. I was thinking, where did they get their money? But hey, there are some rich people. So, and then I ran into this bottle of wine. There's this winery that really rings a bell to me, because it reminds me of my days in Georgia. The first time I tried wine from this winery, it was in a very nice restaurant in Georgia, in Tbilisi, called Babaristan. And it's a winery that's special because it's not a mass-produced winery. It's not a commercial winery. They don't actually sell to retailers in Georgia. They're not bothered because the production is so small. So they only sell to the top-end restaurants in Georgia. So if you want to try this wine in Georgia and Tbilisi, you have to go to the top-end restaurants. But here, hey, in Ukraine, I found it. I came across this bottle and I thought, oh my god, I have to buy it. I have to taste this wine on my channel, because if I don't buy this wine, I wouldn't come across it again, probably ever again in my life, because it's so rare. Look at that bottle. Everything's handwritten and it's so artisanal. And the name of this winery is Shotiashvili. Established in 2002. They only make Qvevri wines in this winery. So Qvevri, it's amphora. So basically, in Georgia, what you do, the Kakhetian style, is you dig a hole in the ground, and then you bury that Qvevri / amphora, throw in everything, juice, grape skin, everything, and then let it ferment. So, you do some sort of winemaking, punching down everything, and then after a while, you have your wine. It's a very natural process. You don't need machinery. You don't need anything. Yeah, it's minimal intervention method. So normally in Georgia, when you see a red wine from Georgia, you would expect, okay, Saperavi grapes, automatically. If you know your Georgian wine, it's Saperavi. But this wine is not from Saperavi. It's from an international variety. International variety in Georgia, normally, okay. If you know the Georgian wine, again, maybe you think Cabernet Sauvignon. They have Cabernet Sauvignon in Georgia, widely planted. Some wineries got that. I've tried one example of it from Cuevry, but it's not Cabernet Sauvignon. This one is from Shiraz. It's the first time in my life I've seen a Shiraz from Georgia. Really? Shiraz? Normally, we would say Saperavi and Shiraz are quite close in style. But the difference is Saperavi is it's very inky. It's a very inky grape, and you know, to grow Saperavi, you need a bit of coolness. You need a bit of cool climate. Shiraz is more warm climate thing. You know, in Australia it goes very well. Northern Rhone is cooler, but it's called Syrah. The style, you know, when you see it on the label, you sort of know which style the winemaker wants you to think of. Northern Rhone style, we call it Syrah. So let's give this wine a try. You know, they wrote Shiraz on the label. Wow. Wow. On the nose, it's very special. Immediately you know, okay, it's a bit different from Saperavi, but at the same time quite similar. I'll get back to that point. Right now, it's quite herbal, and there's a bit of that pepperiness to it. On the palate, wow, it's punchy, it is powerful, but at the same time, it's got a very nice acidity to it. I mean, towards the back, you feel the acidity, and it doesn't make the wine too heavy, so it balances out. The balance is very nice. You can sort of feel the tannin structure. It is there. You know there is tannin, and it is there. And then towards the secondary palate, you can feel more of that tannin there. And then you know this is a wine for aging. This wine can age. There's a structure to age. There's the acidity to age. I think this wine would be very good in, say, 10 years. But it's a 2017 vintage, and it's not likely that I can find another bottle of this wine to keep. So you know, I have to do it for a program. So I'm going to drink it. As I drink more and more, it's getting closer to a Saperavi. It reminds me more and more of a Saperavi. And I feel that usually in a Saperavi you can find a sour cherry to it. That I think is very special. But here you can find it as well. So and then the elegance to it, I think it reminds me more of the Syrah of Northern Rhone than the Australian Shiraz. All in all, I would say it's a great wine. If I can find if I can find more of this wine, I would buy more. But it's so rare that I probably couldn't find another bottle of it. It's getting better and better. Like really closer and closer to a Saperavi. Okay, let's score this wine. I'll give it an A, straight A. I love this wine. That acidity is beautiful. That structure is beautiful, and it's not as inky as Saperavi. It's very different. I would say if I can find this wine again, I would certainly buy a case of it. But no, it's not easy to find. So anyway, it's getting colder and colder. I need to stop talking. I need to go in and continue drinking. So I'll see you in Croatia. Next week, I'll be in Croatia. Bye.